Does anybody know what this is? Random guess. Anybody? This building is the building that the Oscars was held in until 1999. Anybody want to take a guess of what the name of the building is? The Shrine. You are correct. In fact, do you know that the Oscars is not called a TV show? What's it called? The Oscars ceremony. They know that this is, in a sense, a worship setting. And it's in this building called the Shrine. Okay? The Shrine was founded by these two guys right here, William Florence and Walter Fleming. It is a Scottish Rite Freemason building. In fact, these guys are high-ranking Freemasons. Tonight, I'm not going to go into a huge discussion of who and what Freemasonry is. I do want to explain this to you. There is a lot of research out there. Freemasonry is secret societies, for those of you out there that don't know. There's different levels that you go through in these secret societies. The higher you get up, the more esoteric knowledge that you get. And if you look on like when you enter into a town, you see all the little signs of, who's here, who's there, what clubs and stuff. Freemasonry is the one that's the set and the compass. Looks like a little ruler and looks like a little school compass, okay? Now, in the first, second, and third degrees, and even the lower degrees, they're very community-oriented, and they help out a lot. And in fact, they probably wouldn't even tell you that they're involved in some sort of occult practice. The farther you get up the line, when you get to 31st, 32nd, 33rd degree, like you are like the presidents and things of our country, those people know what they're doing. In fact, they follow a book called Morals and Dogma, written by Albert Pike. In this book, it says, we follow Lucifer, the light bearer. My thing here tonight is to not try to convince you that Freemasonry is real or anything like that. I want to point something out to you that is fascinating about the Oscars and Freemasonry, okay? In fact, Hollywood has long been open Masonic. Gene Autry, John Wayne, Nat King Cole, Duke Ellington, C.C. DeMille, Clark Gable, Walt Disney, Oliver Hardy, all these guys are high-ranking Freemasons. In fact, the three guys that started Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, Warner Brothers, and 20th Century Fox, all Masonic, okay? Do you know what this is? Anybody ever seen this picture before in your life? This is called a Masonic tracing board, the picture on the right. What it is a teaching tool. When you enter into these secret societies in the first, second, and third degree, they teach you how to spot Freemasonry in the real world. So, like here, there's a set and there's a compass and there's a ladder, and notice there's a sun with some things beaming on it. There's like an altar thing in the middle, the checkered floor. All these things are symbols to somebody who is involved in Freemasonry, and when they see those in the real world, they will be able to say, Freemasons own this, or Masonic people own this, okay? The one on the right is called the Sun Man. Notice it's got the checkered floor and everything. Masonry actually borrows a lot of things from sun worship. If you study Freemasonry, there's a lot of imagery, suns, this, that are in there. So suns are very much part of their ceremonies and worship ceremonies. Now I'm going to show you a clip from the very last time that the Oscars was held in the Shrine. Oh, wait, before I show you that clip, here's an example of inside the Shrine. Notice the ceiling. This is a sun motif in the ceiling. In fact, I think if you look at it from this, you notice it a little bit better. You can always tell you're in a Masonic building because they have sun motifs and all sorts of things.
And the Oscar goes to
This is Italy's 26th nomination and its 10th Academy Award.
Pause. Does anybody recognize anything that's in this frame? Checkered floor. Let me zoom in onto it, and I'm going to put another Masonic tracing board in here so you can see them side by side. Okay? Let me change this picture. Notice the archway. Notice the checkered floor. Notice the sun motif. There's a sun motif in here that the sun is beaming the light down onto an arc or something that's in the center of the stage. Notice there's something in the center of the stage with light beaming down on it. What this is Freemasonry saying, you know what? We own this. This is ours. And anybody that's watching this that is involved in this knows exactly where this is coming from. To the average person who doesn't study this kind of stuff would absolutely not recognize this at all. Now, the Oscars was moved to what is called the Kodak Theater. Okay, this is the Kodak Theater. Notice the sun motif in the Kodak Theater. That's the light above. Notice the checkered thing that's on the curtain. And notice the archway and stuff. So they just basically moved their operation to here. Now, this thing on the left here is called the Gate of Babylon. This is what you go through to get into the Kodak Theater. If you go to Hollywood, and the reason I know this is because I used to live right here. There's a building, like 2 buildings over right here. I watched this whole thing being made. If you go to Hollywood and you get their little brochure here and everything like this is called the Babylonian Court. This little place right here where you can eat down here. This is the Gate of Ishtar. Okay? This is Isis and Horus up at the top here. This is sun worship. This is hugely occult from the olden days brought in. And all they're doing, Satan's not stupid. He just repackages things and hands it to people in a different format. But it's still very much so a part of these people's lives. Okay? Sun worship did start so long ago. Does anybody know where it started? Babylon. In fact, this whole idea of worshiping the sun came from Nimrod. When Nimrod died, it was believed that he went into the sun, and then everybody said, oh, wow, now he's the god, and this and that. And that's where we get our first recordings of sun worship and worshiping of the stars. And the whole idea of following the stars originated from not here. Revelation 12:4. Now, where do we get what are stars in the Bible? Angels. Angels, you are correct. In fact, here it says, and his tail drew a third part of the stars of heaven and did cast them to earth. We know that angels are also known as the stars of heaven. In fact, in Isaiah here, 14:12 through 14, it says, How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which did weaken the nations? For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into the heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will be like the Most High. This idea of star worship originated with Satan. He wanted to be more famous, more infamous than God. Now what's happened is the fallen stars that fell from heaven that are still wanting worship, now all of a sudden the devil has taken that and transferred it over to people. And now people are being worshipped as stars. In fact, don't we have basketball stars, football stars, race car stars, model stars? Everything that is being semi-worshipped in our world is known as a star. In fact, they immortalize these people by putting a star in the stone. Even innate objects like Kermit the Frog get to be remembered forever by putting their star in the stone. Now in 1 Timothy 4:1 it says, Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. Some will depart from the faith and give heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils. I was that person. I was raised with a faith. I read my Bible. In fact, my father should have been a pastor. He should have been more than a pastor. He was so strict.